So, today we are making a German tank. See, when it comes to World War II German tanks, there's a couple of different things you can look at. You got some of the early German tanks, especially their medium tanks like the Panzer IVs. And then you got things like the Panther, or of course the Tigers. And realistically, the evolution of the German tank is that they just kept getting bigger and heavier. So really what I think I'm going to do is create a medium tank that's sort of late war era, that's kind of a combination of the Tiger, Panther, and all of that, but it's not specifically either one of those. Now, I definitely want it to have kind of a tall hull, something like that, and it has to have sloped armor. That's kind of important. And of course, when it comes to their suspension, well, they have a very particular style, and it's this. Although we probably don't want 2 wheels per axle, just 1. But they had this sort of interleaving thing going on. Alright, before we go any further, we do need to sort out the engine, because these, we've got to make it as complicated as possible, right? And so its transmission, it should be a front drive. At least I think so anyway. Alright, we do have a slight issue where the transmission just doesn't really want to fit. It really doesn't. I think the easiest thing I can do is maybe do something like this. I think that actually works. Okay, look, it looks dumb, but if it works, then it's not dumb. Alright, on the plus side, we do have quite a lot of room for an engine. I do want to split that drive shaft one more time as well. That way we should have no issues whatsoever, I hope. I don't know. But as far as engines go, now, the Germans were not subtle. They weren't subtle when it came to their engines. So I'm thinking we should have something a little bit crazy, like maybe a V10. Could even do a V12, but I think V10's a little bit, just a little bit weird. Of course, we're going to make it big. Let's see, how big can we go? Now, that's already sticking out of the tank, which could be a potential problem, because that's a 40-liter engine. That's sort of bordering on not being a tank engine anymore and more being a train engine. So let's see, how small can we get this until it actually fits inside the tank? Right, well, obviously I'm going to have to move the drive shaft back a little bit, but I think that's almost there. So that's 23 liters. It's quite a big engine. So I mean, its peak power then, it's 697. It's not bad. Not a bad amount of power. Alright, let me just pop a driver in here. One really good thing as well is that the driver is right up next to the transmission. So, you know, he can actually fix it if anything goes wrong. And of course, if it's overstressed and explodes, then we'll hear about it very quickly. Alright, let's just see how this drives. Oh, there's a good amount of power. Top set at about 20 kilometers an hour, so it's not great for that. Alright, that's much better. We're getting up to 35. Oh my god, that pivoting speed. Look at that. Reversing speed isn't great, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Alright, I think I should start looking at the hull armor as well, because one thing German tanks were actually known for, at least prior to D-Day anyway, was that they were thickly armored. At least as far as the Panther and Tiger goes. Whether they turned out to be as tough as people thought, that's a different story. But I definitely think at least 120 millimeters is probably good. I think I'll definitely give the upper glacis as well fairly thick armor too. We'll go with 150. So it's really, really thickly armored on the front. I'm not sure what I'll do with the sides. Gotta remember to get the bit under the tracks as well. But I'm thinking at least 100 millimeters would be nice to have. And as for the rest, I think a solid 55 millimeters on top is fine. The rear, on the other hand, I don't really know what to do with this. And if you're wondering what that square is, that's an engine cover. But I think just 50 millimeters is probably fine. Now at this point, you probably notice that something is missing. Yes, it doesn't have a turret. I've been trying to figure out where I want to put this thing. Given the size of the engine at the back there, I think we can still do a fairly central turret. The basket, on the other hand, can't be very big. which is the main downside to that. But I think this is as good as it's going to get, because I have accidentally made the hull kind of narrow. I can make it like super tall. Could have like a multi-turreted thing, but that's the thing, is that the Germans experimented with multi-turreted tanks very early on and very quickly decided they were bad ideas. So unlike some of the Soviet projects, they never really went very seriously into it at all. I know somebody in the comments is probably going to correct me on that, but yeah, it just wasn't something that was very popular. And in fact, multiple guns on tanks, as far as cannons go, were also not very common. So, I mean, they weren't common to begin with, but as an idea, they just didn't really go anywhere. So obviously we're going to need some kind of turret, and unfortunately I've made the hull a little bit too small, or at least too narrow, so we can't have a turret basket that's any bigger than that. But I do like the idea of putting the turret somewhat forward. We can get it kind of deep down though, so that's alright. And then shape-wise, I was thinking kind of a longish turret. I do like the Tiger 1's turret, but the one that always stands out to me is that one Panther turret that looks really silly. I think it was called the small term, but essentially it's kind of like a conical shaped turret, and it's quite small. And I think it would just kind of look really funny on top of the sort of, well, massive hull that we've got going on here. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that as an overall shape. Now we definitely need some kind of gun. Go right in the middle there. Now, if I remember right, the Panther had a 75mm gun. I think we can maybe do a little better than that. We're gonna go with the iconic 88mm. We give it like a 525mm cartridge length, and that's already looking pretty good. I remember that this gun kind of tapers down a little bit. That looks very small.
That's what she said.
It does kind of look comically small, but I think it works. Because even on the Panther, this turret looks really small. I might have made it a little too small, but you kind of get my point, where what it's supposed to look like. But on the plus side, because it's small, I might be able to get away with putting the same sort of armor pretty much all the way around. So you got like 100mm of armor. Still gives us a fair amount of space to work with in there. Of course, ammo is going to be an issue. You can kind of put the ammo on the floor. Put additional ammo in the hull. Now we just need crew. We definitely need a loader. I don't know where he's gonna go. I'm thinking the loader should be near enough to the gun that they can actually, like, load it. Alright, we've got a gunner, loader, driver. There's not really much room for a commander in there, if I'm honest. Despite the size of tank, and frankly, quite a lot of wasted space in there. Which, I mean, let's be honest, it's probably useful for one thing. Yeah, I think this pretty much ensures we'll never run out of ammo. Just about 400 rounds of 88mm ammo there. I think that should be perfectly adequate. Alright, time to give it a quick paint. Alright, that looks sufficiently grey. Alright, let's give it a quick test drive. Alright, let's see how this performs. Alright, with all the stuff on it, it's weighing about 60 tons. So it is noticeably slower than it was when we first tested the driving. Suspension's good though. It is coping with the extra weight pretty well. See how it does crossing trenches. Like nothing happened. Alright, let's test out the gun then. Yeah, seems pretty good. Alright, let's see how it can deal with this IS-6 lookalike. It's not going through. Now it is. Alright, so it's time to see what this thing can do.
Celebrate the milestone of 100,000 subscribers with your official Tungsten Lawn Dart hoodie and tee. Experience unmatched comfort and a sense of looming mechanical superiority. Side effects may include sudden formation of turret-like deck rotation, compulsive map drawing, spontaneous strategic lectures, while clanking noises while walking, unexpected alliances with household appliances, and the belief your count requires reactive armor. The Tungsten Lawn Dart hoodie and tee.
Alright, so this is the railway scenario. We've got a bunch of enemies to take out. Let's see how it does. I'm kind of regretting not giving this thing more gears, but at the same time I don't know if it necessarily needs any. Oh, okay, we're being shot at already. What are we looking at? Who's out there? Alright, I've crashed into something. Oh, I see something. What is that? Enemy medium tanks? Oh, I've hit the dirt there. Got a few of them coming. Yeah, the gun's not the highest velocity. Although then again, I think that's a kill. I think we have done it. Alright, we got one coming up here. Alright, that's straight through the frontal armor. Alright, we are doing well. We're about to get flanked. This is the only thing we got to worry about, is getting flanked right now. Especially because there's only one of us. Oh, our track's been hit. There's quite a lot of them. I'm going to hit this one that's getting a little bit too close to comfort here. Just don't want them to knock out my tracks. Alright, let's just keep backing up. Keep backing up. Did I miss? Oh, I'm really glad I put the extra armor around the turret now. Alright, I think the one that was flanking me is dead. Alright, we got one right in front here. Gonna get you. Straight through, look at that. Any more left alive? Are you left alive? Hang on, I can't see. I have an unfortunate gunner sight issue. Might have put the gunner sight a little bit too far back. Quite a lot of enemy tanks we've knocked out now. We have taken track damage, but otherwise, generally quite okay. Alright, one more test. We have a platoon of our medium tanks now. I'm still debating what to call this, because the hull really does look like a Tiger II's hull to me. Just modified somewhat, but the turret is so dinky and tiny. It's like a cross between a Panther and a Tiger, and taken in a totally different direction. Speaking of tigers, there's a couple of king tigers coming towards us, and we've been... well, we've lost one already. That's never a good thing. Come on. Can we pen the front of that? That is a no. Okay, that's quite bad. We cannot pen the front of that. Alright, let's see if we can get this one over here. Let's go for his lower plate there. Oh, I think I went through. I blew off his track. Okay, well that's something. Oh, he's showing me his side. There we go. Oh, there's a tank destroyer over here. Hello, you. I think I went through. Yep, there we go. Alright, well, he's distracted. Oh, never mind. I think we won that. Yeah, I'd call that a resounding success. It does look like we lost two of our friendly tanks, but definitely make up for that with a solid win like this. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. If there is something you would like me to try in Sprocket, or if there's a tank game you would like me to try, let me know down in the comments. And my name is Panther. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.